Boom. What's up, you guys? It's Royce Jacob, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about the beast of a stock, that is C3 AI Inc. If you guys have been part of the team for a while, then you know that we've been on quite a ride with this stock for probably about 6 months or so now. First investing or trading it all the way back in December when we were floating around 10 bucks. Since then, it has been an absolute roller coaster. We've had crazy gains and we've had some pretty stark losses. But as of just a couple of days ago, at the time of recording this video, late May, C3 is making a massive recovery following a post of early earnings or an insight into what their actual earnings report is going to look like on June 1st, as well as dismissing some of the short seller allegations that were made over a month ago now, as we hoped / predicted they would. And you love to see it, you guys. So, of course, we will be discussing the fundamentals involved here. We got to talk real quickly, at least go over some of the general numbers that their CEO implied they would present in their earnings report, because once again, that's really what catalyzed the move up for the stock. And of course, once again, discrediting, well, I'll expand on that once we start reading it, discrediting the short seller allegations that have been made. Okay, so good news for the stock, you guys. Again, it's been a roller coaster, but I love to see the price action that we've been seeing following the release of, this little pre-report. So we will, of course, be diving into the charts, talking price action. I want to let you guys know a few levels that I'm personally eyeballing in regard to the short term, but I'll also discuss the medium term as well. And of course, for those of you guys who want to stick around to the end, I want to talk a little bit about how I'm trading this environment, why I'm exceptionally bullish. I always am, but right now I'm exceptionally bullish on small to mid cap stocks and risk sectors in the markets. And I want to talk to you guys about the very, very short term as well, because May 19th is the expiration date for a whole lot of options contracts out there, which will inevitably lead to heightened levels of volatility. And it's also my birthday, so let's hope we get some station steak and sushi this weekend, and we have a little extra reason to celebrate. So again, I'll save that for the end. But as always, before we dive into the fundamentals and technicals, if you guys do want to trade with me on a daily basis or know exactly how I'm trading my personal portfolio, along with receiving the daily newsletters that I write every morning, the trade alerts and the price targets newsletter, that is the first link in the description box. Complete portfolio, daily newsletter. Again, you get everything that this little box right here entails. 15 bucks a month, 40 bucks for every 3 months. I recommend trying it free for 7 days. The reason I have a free trial is because I'm so confident in the product that I want you to try it, because I trust you'll stick around. But if not, you can just unsubscribe. So again, first link in the description if you want to know how I'm trading my personal portfolio every single day, along with the newsletters. And again, if you do want to join, welcome to Waves Capital. Welcome to the winning team. So anyway, let's get to rating. You guys know the drill. C3 AI delivers a comprehensive enterprise AI application development platform and a large growing family of turnkey enterprise AI applications. If you guys don't know if you guys haven't heard me read this before, go watch some of my earlier videos or just look at the site for yourself. And as with every company you should ever invest in, go to the investors tab on their website. But again, we're not doing that today. Let's discuss this recent news. Okay, Bloomberg, C3 AI Inc. shares gained 23%, the most in 10 weeks, after the company released preliminary earnings exceeding analyst estimates and said an investigation following accusations from short sellers found no wrongdoing. The business environment for enterprise AI is more active than we've seen since the company's inception and seems to be accelerating. Redwood City, California-based C3 AI said Monday in a statement. I believe that was their CEO, Thomas Siebel. Revenue in the quarter that ended April 30th was as much as $72.4 million. The company said analysts on average projected $71.3 million. So, a few percentage, as far as percentage points are concerned, you got a beat of a few percent. That's impressive. But again, we don't get the exact numbers until June 1st. And depending on what goes down in terms of price action, I do want to make as soon as we dive into the charts, a point very clear and something to be cautious of as we approach those earnings. But more on that in a little bit. Revenue in that quarter that ended April 30th was as much as 72.4 million. Sorry, just read that. Free cash flow was unexpectedly positive for the first time since 2021, though the firm said it will post an adjusted quarterly loss of $23.7 million to $23.9 million. Okay, not going to read over this. Final statement here just to, kind of wrap this up. And again, this was important because this catalyzed, this was so stupid, you guys. Again, following a very promising earnings report, it just catalyzed a massive sell-off, and it was foolish what ended up going down. Again, as far as we know as of now, on no solid grounds, this short seller had the right to say these things, and it caused, again, it collapsed the stock, as many of us unfortunately know. So, in a separate statement, C3AI's board audit committee said that an investigation following reports from Kerrisdale Capital and Spruce Point Capital found that none of the allegations or insinuations of wrongdoing were supported by the facts. Siebel said no company executives outside of the audit committee were involved in the review, which is also good because, that supports the idea that no foul play was involved on C3's end. But again, you guys, short sellers, as I said in the title of this YouTube video, are snakes. It's crazy that a short selling, it should be illegal, honestly. Like this, there should be legal ramifications for short selling groups that simply use their status as a short selling fund to crash a stock. Because again, you guys, the thing with AI, and this works in favor of the bulls and bears, depending on momentum. This works with every momentum play that we'll ever play, which is, you guys know, a waves cap. The majority of what we do play here, okay? Growth stocks, revolutionary stocks that have that crazy multiple potential, not only for the stock, not only for options, but for the stock as well. Again, if a stock 2x is an option, it can like 10x, So anyway, it's crazy that happened, but I'm glad to see it's recovering now. And I do think that more upside is ahead of us. The reason for that being, it looks like C3AI is printing a head and shoulders pattern. I'm sorry, I just realized I didn't finish the thought about how it works in both ways, okay? Momentum, again, volume. The majority of the trader base for C3AI, although there are an increasing amount of institutional players and funds and hedge funds entering this stock, because again, this volume isn't just retail. A lot of this volume is retail. And that's why we saw the news from Kerrisdale Capital cause so much of a long squeeze, okay? So the short squeeze, if a stock is heavily shorted, and you get a nice spike in price action upwards for that stock, it causes those shorts to sell their positions and buy the stock, which creates that snowball effect to the upside. The same works for a long squeeze when everyone has call options and it goes down significantly, or calls on the stock goes down, those calls have to sell stock and that creates a snowball in the opposite direction. And that's what happens when a lot of retail is involved. And again, it's just ridiculous. But to round off that thought, or to round up that thought, it's good what's happening now, because we are seeing, again, that short squeeze. It's happening in the right direction. Volume is bonkers right now. You can see behind my fat head right here that volume as of today was at 38 million. It is May 17th at the time of recording. 38 million shares traded today on an average, which is already a crazy average of 17 million shares. Again, you guys, if you look back at to what this volume looked like in December, it's not even comparable. Like, this is just literally pennies on the dollar when you're talking about the volume that's been created over the past 6 months of price action. So again, it does work in favor of the bulls or the bears, depending on which way the momentum, the fundamental, the sentimental momentum is headed. So again, I thought that was just a point that was important to share. Back to that inverse head and shoulders pattern I was talking about. Okay, so inverse head and shoulders, the bullish brother of the head and shoulders pattern. First shoulder was created by that sell-off catalyzed by the snakes at Kerrisdale. After that big sell-off, which is, again, the arm of the shoulder, you get the collarbone, you get that shoulder itself, which is a range formation. Another little sell-off, which is just, that cup that creates the head formation. And then it becomes a head and shoulders pattern as opposed to a continuation of the downtrend when, again, you get that U pattern and you reclaim a symmetrical range of that shoulder. Okay, so again, they're nice and even. You get this level reclaimed. Right now, this is more of a complete reversal as opposed to a head and shoulders pattern following the price action, following that nice like 15% jump we saw today. But regardless, I do still think that the target on or the resolution target, I should say, of this inverse head and shoulders pattern stands as my personal target. This is where I personally would take profits if I were heavily trading C3AI Inc. And that is going to be at this gap at around $32. So there's a big old gap that we need to fill right here around $32. This inverse head and shoulders pattern, you could say the real apex or starting point of this was the high that we saw on April 3rd, or just under $35. But just to play it safe, I think $32 is a pretty reasonable target. It is a solid resolution for this inverse head and shoulders pattern, as well as a gap range that we do need to fill. And I do think that we could definitely see that by June 1st, because from here, let's get a price range on this. We only have, what do we got from here? We only have like 19% to go. So considering we climbed 14, 15% today, 19% over the span of another week or two is nothing crazy at all. Okay. And again, with the volume that we're seeing now, insane volume, momentum heavily in favor of the bulls. The greater markets are looking good. Again, Riot, Coinbase, one of my other big, I would say almost my favorite low-key AI play right now is Garden Health, which I'm super excited about and trading pretty heavily right now as well. So all of these plays looking good. Again, growth stocks looking good, and I'm just excited to see what unfolds over the next couple of weeks as we head into the summer months, into the month of June. Okay, so that said, I did mention that I did want to throw a little caution in the wind here. If we do see $32, even $35, maybe things go crazy. Maybe we can make our way up, which wouldn't surprise me at all, to test the top line of this. Is also conservative resistance, because this would be absolute resistance, but I don't like doing that. I like conservative resistance. So I'll go like that right there. Get a couple of touch points there, not just using the top candle wick, but it's definitely possible that by June 1st, we do see like 36, maybe even $37 to test the top line of resistance on this massive, actually at this point, it is kind of a megaphone channel. Okay. So this is now a megaphone channel. Maybe we come up to test the top line of resistance on this megaphone channel by June 1st, take this up to, again, 36, $37 even. But if we do see that by June 1st, I would absolutely, I don't know if I'll short it, but the wise decision, the rational thing to do as a trader at that point would absolutely be to short the stock going into earnings, because with those little, the pre-released earnings, or kind of like a teaser of what the earnings are going to be, it's going to be very difficult given the expectations at hand to even further exceed those earnings, especially if the stock price is getting, up to the $37 region. Okay. So that is just a little cautionary tale. Just consider, if we do see $32 to $35, consider taking profits. I'm not telling you what to do, but hey, if it was me, I would absolutely take profits at $32. And if we get there, congrats to you for trading, because I know you're going to make some money. So that's C3I, you guys. Let's talk about small to mid caps in general. Once again, going over my newsletters from the past couple of days. So considering the markets have been so volatile or uncertain as of late, I don't want to get too excited, but I will say that the price action we're seeing today, this was Monday, and today as well, which is Wednesday, again, the 17th, amongst growth assets, is making me feel especially optimistic about the short to medium term. As far as macro fundamentals are concerned, there really isn't all that much to discuss. The debt ceiling negotiations are taking over the headlines, but personally, I put no weight on that issue as far as the markets are concerned. Again, the debt ceiling, when it comes to the financial markets, when it comes to the overall economy, even then, in my opinion, they're just going to keep raising it until something goes absolutely, like my thought, they're just going to keep raising it until something goes, until it explodes. Okay. They're not going to allow us to exceed it. They're just going to keep raising it. Okay. That's my thought. I'm not saying I'm right. I think that's probably the most likely scenario though. So for that reason, it really doesn't matter. But hey, it's in the headlines and people, it can cause a little bit of fear. So for that reason, it does matter very, very slightly. Anyway, in my mind, this is bullish. A sea of green in the wake of no significant fundamental catalyst is a good sign. It's an indicator that capital is finally getting back to work. As we've discussed many times this year, there are still record amounts of institutional capital that have been sitting on the sidelines, waiting for the green light to get back into the game. The primary job of the individuals at these funds and institutions is to provide above average returns for their investors and LPs. Investing in the S&P 500 isn't going to get them there, but investing in growth assets and small to mid cap stocks that have meaningful multiple potential can. I'm obviously biased because I favor this realm of the markets, but this is one of, if not the primary macro argument that encourages me to have so much confidence in the performance of this asset class over the coming days, weeks, and months. Mass amounts of capital are finally being redeployed. At this point, the name of the game is trying to front run where all of this cash will decide to find a home, and I'll continue to do my best to do just that. So far, the month has been shaky, but we're really coming back, and I'm pumped to see how the rest of this week plays out. I'm wishing early. I hope that these 519 contracts, in all honesty, again, it's rare that I trade contracts this close to expiration, but I do have quite a few, and my fingers are crossed, and I'm ready to blow out those candles and eat some steak and sushi if we do see it. So we'll just call it there, you guys. Again, if you want to trade along with me, again, I never encourage you guys to copy what I'm doing. But if you want to know how I'm trading and, learn from my successes and learn from my failures and implement that into your own strategy, and again, get these newsletters that I release every morning, every trading day at least, Monday to Friday, that's the first link in the description. And as always, I'll talk to you in the comments as well about whatever you want. So until next time, you guys, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.